1K a day with a tiny YouTube channel, especially in your 50s and 60s, game on. This is the ongoing step-by-step series. We are now on step 3. In the last video, and I'll link to it, I discussed the idea of figuring out who it is you're actually trying to attract. Who is your market, your tribe, your peeps, who's the audience? And this step 3 kind of piggybacks off of this, because what people want to do is we want to start rushing ahead to your idea. Oh, Ryan, I have a great idea. This is my XYZ workout system. You know, it's my one-handed push-up workout system, or it's the way I fix cars and I want to show people how to do it, or collect baseball cards. Or so you have your idea. Or you go, here's my personal brand. You know, I'm big, I'm strong. You know, I was a Navy SEAL. I'm actually working with someone now who was in special forces, and he's a sniper. We're building out the brand. But before we start with him, and we had a long, hour-long call like 3 days ago, and I said, okay, let's put your resume and your experience, let's put that on the back burner for now, and let's dig into who your audience is. Because he wanted to start out talking about his, like, the fitness stuff, and I said, well, what would the first video, like, okay, you're gonna start a new YouTube channel, what's the first one you want to do? And he said, well, I want it to be about, like, intermittent fasting. I'm like, well, who's your audience? And we started getting into it, and we discovered that his audience, that's not the first thing they want, and that's not the first thing they want from him. So what we have to do is, and I know this sounds harsh, but forget about yourself. Forget about you, because it's not about you. Not at this moment. There's a big thing, personal branding. People have been talking about personal branding for a long time. And we've mistaken personal branding with thinking that, oh, here's what I had for lunch, you know, or look how bubbly I am, look how cute I am. And we think that's a personal brand, when in reality, it's never about you. Your personal brand becomes apparent as you start talking to your audience and helping them. So, in this step, forgetting about yourself, forgetting about your idea, forgetting about your experience, we're going to address that in upcoming steps, okay? And if you want to jump ahead, just type in 1K below, because I'm working on a report. We're gonna dive into this stuff more. But for right now, this step is about figuring out your audience and what it is they want. And there's a marketer, Dan Kennedy, and he used to say, you know, and I think it was either him or Jay Abraham. I like to give people credit. We don't make this stuff up. We adapt it from other people we learn from. And it was something to the effect of, what keeps them up at night? So in step 2, we're figuring out our audience. Now we're figuring out what keeps them up at night. Like, what is that pain, that fear? And it's not about twisting the knife. That's old school stuff. That's old school marketing. I never felt comfortable with that, with the marketers talking about, okay, you find the pain, and the copywriters will say, you twist the knife. You make them feel really bad about themselves, and then they're going to buy your solution. I think there's a different way to approach it. I like you address their fears, you address their pain. Hey, if this is what you're suffering from, if this is the problem, well, let's address it. Here's how I can help. Here's a solution I can provide. But we have to know what that thing is. And sometimes we come at it from a me first perspective, saying, this is me, this is what I offer, this is how cool I am, this is my product, this is my program. And then we try to make it fit. We try to jam that puzzle piece in. And then we get frustrated when it doesn't work. As opposed to you saying, okay, YouTube's gonna be my jam, right? This is my channel, this is my place, this is my main marketing platform, and I'm just going to create, and let me test the waters. Let me put out a video about a specific topic and see what resonates, because you might be surprised. And in my last company, I sold my nutrition company called Rewind. This was before I started getting back into the YouTube world. I was doing it through ads. So I was running a lot. I was spending a couple $3,000 a day on Facebook ads. And we got a lot of data really quickly to see what was resonating with people. And I would test an ad because we started off with nutrition bars. And I would have one set of ads that would be targeting towards vegans, right? And then I would have another set of ads that would kind of hit the theme of inflammation, because that's why I started it. I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis, and I started this to help with inflammation. So, and we would see which would work. I didn't know, right? And the thing is, you don't know. We can think we know. I think that's what their problem's going to be. I think that's what's keeping them up at night. But I'm not 100% sure, and you're never 100% sure. Even with the 25, 26 years I've been marketing online, I still don't know 100%. Even with this video series, when I started doing the first 2 parts, I made it a little bit more general. Like how to do a 1K a day, one-person business. Testing the waters, seeing what you wanted, seeing what the biggest challenge was, asking you questions in the poll. What's the thing, right? And then a video started taking off about how I did 1K a day, how I'm doing this with a tiny channel, right? And all of a sudden, people are like, well, that's what I want. And they want it more focused on YouTube first, and that's marketing is about staying agile and listening. And not being so close-minded in your idea, saying, this is what I do, this is me, this is my personal brand, and this is what I'm gonna shove down your throat. And instead approaching it from, okay, we're on the second step in the last video, here's my market, here's who I want to talk to, right? I talked about that little real-world thing you can do. If you have a workshop and you're running it, and there's 100 people in the audience, and it's lunch break, do you wanna actually go sit with them? And if the answer is yes, and those are your people, you're on the right place. Now you're sitting with them, and you're talking to them, and you're asking them, what are some things bothering you? What are some problems? What are some challenges? That's why, now it's not 100% necessary, but if the audience is you, I mean, you can't get any better than that, because you know them, right? I am a dad of 4. I have 4, they're all getting older now, 15, 17, 19, 21. So they're getting older. But I understand what it's like to be a parent of someone with 3, 4 kids, right? So I can speak to them. I could use the same words. I know when the kids are little how the lack of sleep is going to drive you nuts. And I know how expensive it could be if you want to send your kids to college. I get it, right? So do you really understand your audience? And I see people chasing money. And they go for like, what's the hot market? Oh, Ryan, what are the 5 hottest markets in blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I could start doing YouTube videos. Here are the 7 hottest niches. Yeah, here are the 7 big niches in fads right now. You know what? It's going to get views. But those are people who are chasing fads and chasing money, and they're temporary businesses. And you can make money with it, absolutely. But what I'm talking about is having something that's substantial, that's going to last you years or decades and take us through this back 9 of life, doing something we enjoy for people we like working with. So we don't know yet exactly what it's going to be. We know who they are, and now we listen. And the great thing about YouTube is that unless you're Mr. Beast doing multi-million-dollar investments in a video, and you're doing it like me, where I got my phone, I got a little tripod thingy, no edits. I'm doing this myself. I take this video, I upload it to YouTube, enter a couple of keywords, hit publish. There's no cost. There's really no cost for you to test messages on a small YouTube channel. See what's working, see what's resonating. And then, we're gonna talk about this a lot. The key to get to 1K a day with a tiny channel is to get them from YouTube onto your list, because that's where you can start to monetize. That's where you can create products and programs and services and offer it to them and get their attention, and not hope and pray to the YouTube gods that hopefully they're gonna, hopefully they're gonna show my video and hopefully I'm gonna make sales, because they might not. But if they're on your email list, you know it's reaching them. Whether they open it or not, you have to write good emails. We're gonna talk about that in an upcoming step, my friend. But for now, test those messages and you start figuring out what it is that thing that's keeping them up at night, and we address it, and we come at it from different hooks and different messaging. You see what works, and then we go, and we go. And next, we are going to start digging in even deeper, and we're gonna start getting into what is your idea, and how do you stand out, and how do you name it and position it, and start getting people over onto the list. and generating income and turning this into a 1K per day without having to chase fads, without having to chase big numbers and look, I got 1 million followers. Who cares? You can't pay your mortgage with the amount of followers, but we can do it if we have a really good, smart business based on decades of doing this stuff. So again, drop 1K below. I'm working on a report. I got some good things coming for you. And of course, you're going to watch the next video in this series because we are just getting started. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. 1K a day with a tiny YouTube channel in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. You're in the right place because I am you. I am you. I'm going to be 52. I am you. Maybe I'm a little snarkier. I got my New York sarcasm, but I am you. So I'll see you on the next video.